Hello students. Last year when you were studying algebra, you learned how to expand expressions that look like this: 3 outside of h minus 5 in brackets, and then you also learned how to take the answer to that and factorize it to get it back into that form. So in this video series, you're going to learn how to expand and factorize somewhat more complicated expressions, such as the other ones that are on this page. So we'll start by just revising, expanding, and factorizing as we did last year. Now let's have a look at this little arithmetic question at the top. And we want to multiply 6 times 34 mentally. Well, often the best way to think about mental computation, a mental multiplication at least, is to break the 34 up into 30 plus 4. And then do the calculation first with 30. So 6 times 30 is 180. 6 times 4 is 24. And that means 6 times 34 is 180 plus 24. And that adds to 204. So by splitting the 34 up into 30 plus 4, and multiplying the 6 by the 30 plus the 6 by the 4, it turns out to be a quick way, a good way to multiply mentally. So let's look at the same question, but this time using some variables rather than numbers. Well, I want to rewrite a times b plus c the same way. So I start the same way as before. I split the rectangle. So the area of that rectangle, by the way, is a times b plus c. And I can do that by multiplying a times b to get the area of this rectangle, and a times c to get the area of that rectangle. And that tells me that a times b plus c in brackets can be written as a times b plus a times c. And the fancy name for that is called the distributive law. Okay, now we have two distributive laws, one for multiplying a times the sum of b plus c, and one for multiplying a times the difference of b minus c. And normally we don't like to write the distributive law with the multiply signs because it looks too much like the letter x. So usually you'll see the distributive law written that way. So what you might want to do now is get out your exercise book, get out your pen, and just write those down, because we'll be using these not just for reviewing, expanding, and factorizing, but we'll be using them right throughout the whole video lesson. So that's called expanding using the distributive law. Okay, and two more words that we need to know, or two more phrases. When we have an expression written as something times something, such as 2 times y plus 3 in brackets, that's called the factored form or factorized form. And this is called the expanded form when it's written without brackets. So expanding means going from the factored form to the expanded form. And factorizing is going from the expanded form back to the factored form. Okay, in the next video, we'll actually go ahead and revise how to expand algebraic expressions that have a form that looks like that.